All right, so we're going on a trip. Not too long ago, Nate was checking out the gate on the fence at the side of the studio house.
So I opened this gate for the first time and when I went to close it, this thing broke off. So that thing's seen better days. Oops, I just fell.
That I had hung back up and this bar that goes into the latch broke off. So my wife and kids and I are on our way down to southern Utah for a family reunion. Got the truck loaded up. We're going to go camping without our twin over double bunk bed. So we got that packed up as well. Got the wife and kids over there. I'll have to tell you the story about the bunk bed later. But we're coming down a few days before the reunion. Because I know someone down in this area that's quite a fabricator. And I've always wanted to make a forge, make our own forge. So we're gonna make a forge, hopefully this week. And we're gonna make, instead of using a hollow metal tubing, we're gonna use a solid piece of metal to replace this bar for the latch-in. Hopefully that works out. We'll see how far we get in a weekend. So here we come, southern Utah. All right, we made it to the tiny town of Orderville in southern Utah. I'm gonna drop the wife and kids off here really quick. There's not really a story behind the bunk bed. I'm just gonna drop it off at another house here in town. And then we'll get to work on the forge tomorrow morning. It doesn't want to stay locked on. No, it's gonna vibrate my arms right out. There's a lot of power in it though. Let's see the man up. That's lifting up your table now. Okay. Okay, so now okay, just take your hand and hold it. And I should have done it this way all on all of them. Find out.
Matter of fact, well, that'll be all right. It's close. It's close enough.
I might have measured it big. Or I measured
Well,
the inside, but because of the...
Yeah. So, we can take and you can cut that out a little if you want. Cut this out a little more if you want, and make it fit if you want somehow. Here, you're pretty close though.
Yeah, maybe it's 8
Yeah, so just taking
all the way around.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, so I'm just gonna punch these.
Cutting oil much different than...
It has something in it that's cool.
So it's not just needle change.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. So what do you think? It's gonna work? Yeah, because then the thread just goes right into that, right?
Yeah, I'm just trying. I think I want it pointing down. I just mean for the sake of the, because that hose is going to be coming out. I don't know if I want it coming out the top or the bottom.
And if you wanted to, let's see, yeah, it might not burn a bit.
I hope so. I guess we're a little more resilient to sun stuff when we're younger, maybe. Maybe. I don't know. Okay, so I've tried to weld before in the past, years and years and years ago. And it always lasted for maybe 5 or 10 minutes. So this is the longest, most successful, although very ugly session of welding I've ever personally done. Just around these bits and the entrance to the forge. So we're just about done. Marty, my uncle, is quite the fabricator and a very good welder. Will come and double check my work. And I need to add some copper orifices to this Y right here, which is detachable. And then I need to add some kale wool inside of this tank, otherwise it's not going to last more than 10 minutes, if that, as a forge. And then I think we'll just hook it up to a propane tank and light her up and see how it looks. So I think this is so far a win for a project, for a DIY experiment. So let's cross our fingers again. Hope it works. Okay, I got a piece for you. Ready? Right here. Can you put it in one of those holes? Can you put it in one of those?
Get in your head. Yeah. That's what I was telling her. Being a little bit short. It's like doing the head massage instead of on your neck.
Yeah.
Here, I'll start it.
Yeah.
Because it's perfect on me.
Got pretty good, yeah.
Okay, can you twist it a little bit with your hands? Are you tough enough or is it too tight?
Too tight.
You gotta twist it that way, this way. You might need a tool, huh? Here, twist this one. Twist this one. Twist. Alright, we're just about done with the forge. Still gotta put some kale wool in it and weld a few holes closed. Like I said, that was my first legitimate welding experience. So I've got the piece of the bar that fell off the fence. I'm gonna come look through my uncle's scrap pile, see if we can find anything that matches its size and diameter. I think we're getting somewhere. Right, I'm probably just thinking in my mind, yeah, making it harder than I need to. I got my X'd out holes cut up in here because these pipes actually go. We've got another piece that's threaded up inside this coupler on the inside, and that's what's going to be our burners. So we've got to try and line these up, these two X'd holes, line those up with those pipes, and we should be just about done. See if we can get this inside there. This kale wool stuff is pretty incredible. You can cut it real easy with scissors, but it don't burn, which is what we want. Not too much of it off. Now we gotta see if we can range it. We've got kale wool in. I've got a fire brick in there. I think all that's left to do is hook it up to some propane and light it up. But let's take a quick look inside and see what we're dealing with. Kind of cool. Ready?
Okay, let me put this in there before you.
Watch and listen. It might make a loud noise. Go for it. Oh, it worked.
There you go.
Did I turn it down? Nope. Crank. Oh, there was just that piece of wood. It was deflecting that fire out. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Hot.
It is hot. It's not running up like that. Okay. Why are you scared? It works. Not the tongs you want?
No, but they'll work. Go ahead and hold it. Yeah. You hold them up close if you want. Closer? Yeah. Now it's cooled off some, so we'll probably have to heat it up. Yeah, that's hot. It's very hot.
My goodness. What you fabricating now?
What's that?
What you fabricating now?
I'm just gonna straighten that out. Go ahead and set it out in
What do you think, Ian?
there. Okay, so I've only got a few hardy tools, but these are hardy tools.
They're not cheap though. Watch out, Ian. It's hot. It's hot.
It is hot. I can smell it burning some of the paint now.
Is that what we're smelling?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Should I make it a pretty long piece that's flat just so I
Yeah, probably.
make sure I have enough?
All right, let go of your piece now. Let me see it.
Oh, let go.
Sure.
Great.
This still might be easier to hold it with.
Well, I guess now I could grab it on the file. Back at the studio house with our slightly forged replacement bar. So we've got our top bar that's still good as far as where we're and we've got the bottom bar that broke off. I've got to finish taking it off so I can use it as a template, figure out where to drill the holes on this bar, and then I can cut this down to the size so it's the right length, and we'll get it reattached to the fence, and it'll be hopefully good to go.
Okay, I've got this, the new bar, forged flat, ground down and kind of, not really polished, but cleaned up from rust, holes drilled. Now I'm gonna take it outside, hang it up with some yarn, string, and we'll spray paint it with some flat black spray paint, and then screw it back onto the fence, see if it works.
All right, so we've got it forged out, ground down, spray painted black. Now we're just gonna attach it, and then it's the moment of truth to see if it lines up just so with the holes I drilled, and if it latches on the gate. Well, well, would you look at that? Was there really ever any doubt that it would work? Can't even tell the difference except that it looks like it's freshly painted. So there's a fixed fence.